fucking diseased, corrupt temple down on your head. It's gotta be biblical.
We're back from New York, Long Island. Yeah, we had a mega time out there. Welcome, Matt. We might as well have a little chat about that first, Mike. And what a superb time we had at the Awakening Summit. And we couldn't have done it without you, Matt. That was for sure wonderful what you did there. Yeah.
Well, good to be with you both. Yeah, New York was amazing. I think everybody just, the hotel was great. I mean, the Alegria in Long Beach, I mean, they really did a phenomenal job. So shout out to Jesse for, making that happen for us and giving us a little bit more of a preferred rate. So that was great. And I think everybody had a great time. I got dogs running around here, but that's okay.
Well, that's on you, Matt, because you really helped us to upgrade to be in a location in a more luxury setting, and of course on the boardwalk. So if you're coming to Long Island, you might as well at least have a view, if
Absolutely.
not be able to go down to the ocean, which I think a lot of people enjoyed. I mean, Lisa and a bunch of other people were down at the water a lot, so that was great.
Yeah, I mean, Barry said she was running around in circles and people thought she was a crazy person, but she was just having fun in the sand. So shout out to Barry.
Yeah. I mean, she ran around all weekend, didn't she, taking photos? She was
the best. I mean, I would love to see, she's going to produce something amazing with all that. And she's going to send it to us one day. We're going to be like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. But I think we could do it again. Elisa, I think Scott might have talked to you about it, but we're thinking of really doing something big, like really big, and doing it out here where, I was thinking like we have the JW Marriott out here, which is beautiful facility.
Where is that? Is that Phoenix or Scottsdale?
It is. Yeah, it's right between. It's in Phoenix. It's called Desert Ridge.
Okay.
Is the part of town, and you could look it up. It's the JW Marriott in Desert Ridge, and it's a beautiful facility. And I think we should really consider doing something either there. That's a little high end, but people want to pay maybe a little bit of a higher ticket price or something like that. We could do it there. The rooms are a little bit more, but there's what's nice about Arizona is there's a lot of like staycation places. So, there's so many places to choose from. So we got to do a big Patriot. I want to get everybody out here, Lewis, everybody from the event and, everybody we can think of to come out and, do a 2 or 3 day event, have entertainment, have music, that's kind of what we're thinking. So we want to arrange that because I know the people, I get to talk to the people in the audience. Don't forget, right? They call me. And, these people are itching for, a Patriot event, and Arizona is always a great place to host. I don't think you'd want to do it in the summer, but once the weather cools off after the summer, I'm thinking, maybe we should, November, December, we could position it around, America Fest, the TPUSA event, because everybody comes to town for that. If everybody's already here, boom, what's another event?
Yeah. When is that usually? When do they have that?
They generally do that like mid-December.
So let me ask you a question, because mid-December for a lot of people is the middle of holiday planning.
Right.
It's coming home from school. So to get people from all over the country, do you think we piggyback on that? And of course, we could discuss this. Piggyback on that.
We'll discuss it off air, but just a thought.
Yeah, I was thinking, or do we go for a month where people are like, I gotta get out of here, like January, which is so dead, and maybe
We'll figure it out. We'll figure out
Yeah.
logistics.
yeah,
But gold and silver are pushing up right now. We'll give a quick update. Gold and silver are pushing up a little. You got gold back in the $4,700 range. Silver's hitting close to 80. We'll see what happens. You know, these things, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but as I tell people, you know, these are great levels to get in at. They've been hanging around here. I think these are controlled. These prices are controlled by the white hats. I think they're letting everybody, you know, kind of on ramp onto the precious metals at, you know, acceptable prices. You know, I wouldn't wait a tremendous amount of time to get your stuff done, because, you know, who the heck knows what events are coming up, whatever it's going to look like. I mean, we could talk about all kinds of scenarios, but I would tell people the urgency is in the price.
Yeah, definitely.
Wait, I just wanted to add something to that. Oh, just so my daughter's graduating college next week, and you know, thanks. It dawned on me. You know, you think about all the things we buy for our kids, right? Graduation gifts, you know, milestone birthdays, 18, 21, whatever. And I actually took it upon myself a few years ago when silver was at 20, it was probably like 22. And I bought the girls, no, not a lot. I didn't have a lot of money, but I bought them, you know, like 40 or 50 ounces. And I'm just kind of holding that. Now, I don't know if I'm going to give it to her, you know, now, or, you know, she's, you know, there's still a little bit of a like knucklehead aspect at that age. But the point is that that's a great gift, and you don't have to give it to them now. Like, you can buy something for a special event, special birthday, a sweet 16, 18th birthday, high school, college graduation, law school graduation. It's a great gift to give to your kids, because if you don't give it to them now and you present it to them in a year, or, you know, when they're a little older, who knows what it's going to be worth.
Totally. Yeah, the silvers and gold, you know, they've been the gift that keeps on giving. You know, I've dealt with people that have come in for, you know, one-offs from time to time, and, you know, they've done phenomenally on that 1 ounce. You know, hopefully they bought more, but you could do things like, they're expensive, but you could do like proof coins. Proof coins are something that I wouldn't recommend for investment purposes. In other words, I wouldn't take somebody's retirement account, or, you know, if they did a wire transaction, you know, they send me $50,000 or $100,000, you know, whatever amount of cash. I wouldn't recommend you go spend it on proofs. But if it's a one-off, you know, 2026, you get you know, the proof coins are like the mirrored coin that they do by hand. You know, they take the planchet and they buff it down by hand at the mint. They just, unfortunately, this year, 2026, you know, you're looking at several $100s for just 1 ounce of silver on that stuff. But it is a nice commemorative piece. I usually give that for, you know, if a friend has a wedding, or they have a, you know, birthday, or they have a kid, whatever. I'll usually, you know, send them one of those.
Is that gold that you're talking about? Or
they do them in gold. They do them in gold and silver. It's just this year they happen to be just very coveted this year. So they're not hard to find. It's just you're going to pay a premium to get them.
Yeah. Wow. But I just love that idea of doing that as a gift, because what are you getting them? I mean, I don't know, unless you're getting them a car or something that's very practical. What are you going to get? A gift card, a piece of jewelry? I mean, I don't know. It's especially today, kids are getting out of school. It's not like when we were younger, you could get an apartment with some friends. I mean, right here on Long Island, you're talking about rents like $3,000-$4,000 for, you know, a 2-bedroom. That's absurd. So give them something that's going to appreciate and grow.
Yeah. Keep up with the Joneses. Yeah. It's getting crazy. I mean, believe it or not, real estate prices and rental prices out here in Arizona, they're actually coming down right now. They've come down about 8%.
They said that was going to happen. But
it's going to happen. It's happening now. It's happening. And, you know, I'm noticing also my bank, I bank with, for the company, I bank with Comerica Bank. I've just had a long-standing relationship with them, and they just got bought out by Fifth Third Bancorp. So I'm wondering, you know, what that's about. Is it that Comerica, you know, they were failing and they had to get purchased? You know, is that going on with other people's banks? We'll see. But I mean, with the school bond stuff coming up, and we don't know when that's going to hit. When these bonds start coming due and they don't have the ability to pay them out, that's going to according to Juan, I mean, it's going to knock out somewhere around 600, minimum of 600 banks, smaller banks. So that'll be interesting to see how that's handled. Is it happening now? Is that what's going? I have no idea, because it's like, unless it's reported, how are we supposed to know? We can only sit here and that's the beauty of these shows is, we can come on here, talk about this stuff and say, hey, is this what's going on behind the scenes? Because we certainly know we're not going to see it on, CNN or Fox News or any of these places. So we kind of have to be the news, right?
Yeah. I mean, all we can do is speculate, isn't it? Because we haven't got the eyes on the plan, if you know what I mean. So we just have to all these things and give our best opinion that we can. And, always tell people that you don't listen to us, listen to what we say, but then do your own research.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And, so something I've been hearing a lot about lately, and I don't really know much about, is the sovereign wealth fund. Well, can you talk about that a little bit and what you know about that?
Yeah. So from what I understand, and I would defer to somebody like Josh Reed on this subject, because Josh, I don't know him personally. Scott knows him. I think to some extent they've done some shows together, I believe. But basically, what it is Trump. We've talked about on the show where Trump raised roughly, that we know of, about $22 trillion last year. And he did that through through tariffs, and he did it through new investment in business from, Saudi Arabia, where, he says, oh, we're not doing 600 billion. We're going to do $1 trillion. We're going to invest. So a lot of this money is going into the sovereign wealth fund, specifically from tariffs. So what Trump's doing is it's the way the country is supposed to work. This country is founded on the idea that you don't pay taxes. You generate income from access to our markets. We're the biggest consumer market by far in the world. So what Trump's doing is he is loading up the coffers and putting those profits, let's call profits for lack of a better word, taking those profits and putting them into this sovereign wealth fund. And what he's doing is he's building a bank account for this country. The sovereign wealth fund is effectively the bank account of the United States of America. And what this is going to do is this is going to be able to fund all kinds of stuff. I mean, at the beginning of the 1900s, we had so much money, they didn't even know what to do with it. Yeah. And what Trump can do is, we can pave our roads. We can build, Trump talked about our airports are terrible. We're going to build new airports, right? He always talks about, if you ever go to Dubai, their airports are just immaculate, blah, 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 blah. I mean, we flew out of JFK. That place is a dump.
Let me tell you something. I have lived near JFK. Literally, I grew up right near JFK. The planes, you'd have to you couldn't talk for 3 minutes every time a plane would pass.
Right.
They have been doing construction on that. It's never finished.
Never ending. Yeah. It's just
you got to go here and there. I get lost. I get lost every time there because you take one wrong. It's disgusting. And it's New York. It's
awful. The place looks awful. It smells awful. The surrounding neighborhoods look awful. This is the stuff that, I mean, we're the United States of America. This is JFK Airport, one of the biggest airports in the world. And it is literally, it looks like a third world country when you walk through there. It's terrible. So I'm really excited to, back to the sovereign wealth fund. I'm really excited to see what we can do when, this country is run by smart, business minded people. These are the people that need to run the country. Remember back in 2015, the big complaint was, and it's the most ridiculous complaint. Oh, Trump doesn't have any political experience. Oh, America's not a business. Yeah, it is a business. And no, we don't need political experience. Political experience is ridiculous. You want people with zero political experience. You want people going in there. You want, big balls to come in and watch your budgets, right? You want him to watch out for fraud. And that's another subject. I mean, what we're going to find out about fraud coming up is just, follow Nick Shirley. Nick Shirley is being handed the story by Trump. You guys want to find out about fraud? Just subscribe to his YouTube channel, Nick Shirley. It's as simple as that, because he's the foreshadowing of what's to come. Because my feeling is that, okay, we found these daycare centers, these fake hospitals, these fake nursing homes, whatever, taking, probably billions, if not probably trillions of dollars when you factor it in over a 20-year period. But these politicians are obviously enabling this stuff. They're obviously in on the jig. But wait till they get to things like, I don't know, Social Security. What have they been doing with Social? Imagine that, where grandma starts to realize that her $900 that she's getting a month should really be $9,000 a month, because that's what it should be. If they would have just taken that money and stuck it into, I don't know, the S&P 500, these people would be getting 10, 20 grand a month from Social Security. But instead, they're they're getting wages that were when they were paying in the 60s and 70s. They're getting wages from back then. It hasn't appreciated. It hasn't done anything.
Yeah.
So these politicians, they're sick. They've looted the Social Security system, and that's going to be. This is all going to be exposed. This is an exposure process, as you guys know. So I love it. It's going to be very painful for some people to stomach this stuff, but it's a necessary thing to do to wake up the public, get everybody on the same page, and then where we go one, we go all.
Yeah, that's brilliant, that, because I was watching Rambo and they said at the end of the show last night, have a guess where Nick Shirley is now? Where is he? Cuba.
Yeah. Is he in Cuba? I haven't been following any news. Is he in Cuba? That's great.
He's in Cuba now.
Well, you know
we took Cuba. We have Cuba. It's ours.
Here's another great scam Social Security has, and I'm not an expert by any means on this, but if you want to start collecting Social Security at 62, right, you get a certain amount.
Right.
But if you wait 3 years, and this is the thing, accountants will go, no, wait 3 years, and by the time you're 65, it's more money. Well, what the hell is that about? I mean, they're counting on you being dead. Correct.
Yeah. They're counting on you living to 70, and they save themselves 3 years, right?
Yeah,
it's so sick.
Taking it now, and he's like, "Oh, my account." I was like, "Screw that! Take it."
I want to know. I want to know who's been in charge. I want to know who's been in charge of the Social Security money for the last 50 years. I want to know all the names. We need names. We need numbers, and we need to look into those people. That would be a great documentary if you could find those people. If somebody could locate that and really dig into who these people are, who they're connected to, and you're going to see it's all the same people. It's all the same. It's all the same. Factions and influences. So it's disgusting.
Yeah. Probably Ilhan Omar being in charge of that. Just along with that sovereign wealth fund as well. What are these accounts Trump is setting up for?
Oh, this is great. Oh, it's fantastic. When I saw Trump doing that, I looked at Scott. Scott actually called it out on another show. I looked at Scott. I was like, this is literally destroying the deep state. This is the last thing that they want, because what he's showing you, hey, if you give kids just a little bit of money and you grow it for them throughout their childhood until they turn 18, those kids could be walking around with tens of thousands of dollars, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars. And at the end of the day, those kids can, pay for college. That burden doesn't just, fall on the parents. Nowadays, it's like, okay, a parent has a kid, and by the time they turn 17, 18, now they got to go fork out $200,000 or $250,000 to go send them off to college. And it's like, it's totally backwards. So what Trump's doing is he's starting to create wealth from the youth of the youth, from infants, right? He's starting to create wealth from the infants. Then I think what he's going to do is he's going to start creating wealth from the seniors, bumping Social Security, getting Social Security up to a real, I think by the time Trump's done, I think Social Security recipients are going to be making 10, 20 grand a month.
I hope so. And let me just say a comment about what you just said about education. First of all, I'm going to be really blunt here. You're an idiot unless you have a gazillion dollars, right? You're an idiot if you think you have to spend $200,000, $250,000. I mean, some of these schools like NYU are $100,000 a year. I tell my kids, look, I'm a single mom. My ex-husband did zip when it comes to helping with education. And I told them straight out, and like when they started high school, I said, I'm not mortgaging my house. I don't have a huge college fund for you guys. And I'm not going to watch you go put yourself in debt. You got to work hard, get some scholarships, work the system. And they did. They did. Thank God they did. And they were with it. But if they didn't, they're going to community college for a couple of years and maybe going to, a university to get their degree or go local. It's what you put into it. Now, having said that, I do think if we look at NASARA, that's all going to change anyway, where we're not going to have to be paying for the education system the way we have.
And furthermore, even the state schools, Stony Brook or the one up, any of these places.
Or throughout
20
the country.
20 grand a year. 20 grand a year is a lot of money. That's a lot of freaking money.
That's right.
Right? Even 20 grand a year. I mean, forget NYU at 100 grand. Let's just even say 10 or 20 grand a year is a lot of money. To 5 grand a year is a lot of money. I mean, my dad went to CUNY College in New York City, CUNY, City University of New York. And he became a renowned engineer, electrical engineer. And I think for him, college was free. There's nothing to it back then. So what changed? What changed? The business, the college industrial complex.
That's right.
That's what changed.
Yeah.
And now it's just, Harvard sitting on a, $100 billion fund, what do they call it? Endowment fund.
Endowment. Yeah.
And here they are taking, federal money for their colleges too. Then they take, it's just another form of money laundering.
It really is. It's disgusting. And then they brainwash, we could go down this rabbit hole. They brainwash parents. Okay. And I blame my generation more, maybe the like if you go back 60s, 70s, a lot of moms, maybe were stay-at-home moms. They weren't necessary as a rule, they weren't so college focused, right? But then you had like their kids, like, oh, my kid needs this and I got to do that. And everybody gets a trophy and all that nonsense. And what happens is there's this competition. Like, where's your child going? Oh, they're staying home. They're commuting. They're not going away. So you have this absurdity, like even the amount of money people spend on visiting colleges. Why do you have to visit 800 colleges? Pick a couple, go see, and make up your mind. I mean, I went to like 3 colleges when I was looking, and we didn't even have the internet. You had brochures.
And college overall is overrated too. I mean, college unless you're going to become a doctor or a lawyer or an engineer, realistically, college is probably for, I don't know what percentage of kids, but for let's say a good number of kids, it's a waste of time. They should just go find a job, get into the workforce, figure it out. That's what I did. I didn't go to college. Mm-hmm. I figured out life on my own, and I took interest in certain things, and I went and pursued those things, made a business out of them. Good for me, whatever. But I'm so glad, because most of these kids, they get a 4-year drinking degree.
That's exactly what
and they leave. Do. And then, realistically, in the next issue for these kids is they're coming out of college to no jobs. There's no jobs that want to even hire them. So it's like, what do these kids do? I mean, they've been totally screwed. And this, of course, is by design. Yeah. Right. These deep staters understood that they're just right now. Take New York City, for example. Stock market's moving to Texas. The whole financial system's moving out.
We heard that, right? Going back to like 2020, we started hearing those rumblings of these areas throughout the country.
Moving to Texas. So what's going to happen in New York City? It's not going to attract all these kids from these universities that want to come in and get a finance job or whatever the case may be. I mean, everything's moving out of New York City. Everything's about to get a massive shakeup. Yeah. Massive shake. It's going to be completely, and the states that are smart, like Florida, Texas, hopefully Arizona pretty soon. I think we're going to see some great things out here. I think these are the states that are going to be leading the way into the new paradigm.
Yeah. Because if you go back like to, the olden days, what did you have? You had kids that trained with someone else, right? They wanted to go into
apprenticeships.
That's like what it should be, where you're learning practical information. Listen, you guys don't have kids like, especially like what this scam with college is just ridiculous. And then you get hit up because now you have to have all the right stuff for the dorm. You know what I'm saying? Like when I went, I needed some toiletries, I needed some bedding. I was good,
Mini fridge.
Now, all this stuff, and you have to have this, and you have to have that, and you need this, and it's just a scam. And you know what it is? It has nothing to do with education. It's just infantilizing young adults to stay in that controlled situation another 4 years, so that when they're 22, 23, they're still semi-retarded, not because of them, but because of the system that hasn't allowed them to truly blossom.
Yeah, they're standing in the middle of the highway with signs blocking cars. That's what you get for it.
Yeah, or lost. Just like, now what do I do?
Yeah.
I think it's all going to change though, because I think and too, Stu, as well. I think one of the things with NESARA is like free education. I think that's kind of like one of the tenets of where that's all going. Which, according to what you just told us and we spoke about with all this money, why shouldn't it be?
Yeah. There's going to be there's so much wealth that's being created even as we speak. Trump is already doing it. It's been in the works for years. He just hasn't told anybody yet. He's probably sitting on it wouldn't surprise me if he's sitting on 50 or $100 trillion ready to go.
Absolutely.
Ready to throw it into the system, ready to rebuild roads, bridges, you name it. I mean, it's the wealth that this country has. I mean, it's unbelievable. And that's just through, trade. That's just through tariffs. I mean, just imagine when we start mining, we have lithium mines. I mean, they found a lithium mine up in, I think, one of the Dakotas. I forget if it was north or south. And also, I believe, South Carolina. I think they valued it like over $5 trillion, the lithium in there.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, if all Trump's executive orders are in effect as well, and we are repatriating all the wealth the cabal has stolen off us, that is an awful lot of money. When you hear about the Rothschilds may have been worth 500 trillion and all these sort of numbers, it's going to be a beautiful future for us all to look forward to, isn't it? 100%.
Yeah. So, Matt, what do you think is, of course, we're just spitballing here, right? None of us know. But what do you think the order of sort of this rollout into the, more of the golden age over the next, let's say, 2 years? Let's not even say 6 months. Like, what do you see? Do you see the precious metals kind of being the launch? Do you see the revaluation of money around the world, coming into parity? What do you see kind of rolling through to bring us more to this point? Or do you see it as a whole compilation?
Your question is, how do I see us going into the golden age?
Yeah.
Well, I think first you have to have a disclosure process. So, for example, we've talked about it on the show before, but I think you have to reveal that Fort Knox has been looted, right? We talked about it actually at the event with Jan Halper Hayes, right, sitting right in front of us in the audience. I think we need to show that, hey, these politicians took our gold and our silver. Yes, Trump has it. It's most likely locked up in Cheyenne Mountain. But he needs to put these people on blast. He needs to show, hey, here's what these guys did. Here's what they did over here. Here's what they did in Social Security. Here's our missing gold. Here's our missing this. Here's our missing that. Where did all this stuff go? And you get the people real wound up on why all this stuff has been looted and stolen, right? And you get people in an uproar. Problem. Then you get the desired reaction, which is people pissed off, okay? And then Trump comes in with a solution. Hey, we send in 650 planes to the Vatican. We got the gold. Yeah, it's not in Fort Knox. It's in Cheyenne Mountain. Everybody chill. Then, and only then, can you lead people, because you're going to have to break down trust between people and their government, people and their financial institutions. There's no way around it. This is the awakening. People need to wake up, because no one's going to appreciate anything. You could go bring us into the golden age. People wouldn't know what the hell to do with it. They would have no clue. So you have to have a total breakdown of the system, a controlled breakdown, something that Trump can break down the system. And in the process, he's offloading toxic assets. He's throwing them on the Federal Reserve books right here. Take these derivatives. Here's $2 quadrillion of dog shit. Here you go. Right. And at that point, then you have people in a panic, not knowing what the hell's going to happen. And then you can start bringing them into the golden age. What does that golden age look like? It looks like probably what we're talking about here. Roads, airports, clean air, new technology, amazing healthcare. You start rolling this stuff out. But you have to expose this stuff on every front. Because if you don't, and you don't wake up the public through that scare event, right? It's going to be many scare events. If you don't wake the public up, they're not going to, there's no point. There'd be no point to giving us a golden age. We don't deserve it. Right now, we don't deserve anything. Yep. It's only until, maybe we do, right? And this audience does, because we're awake to this stuff and we understand it. But the average person out there, they're sitting there, just doing the same things. It's like your country's being stolen from you. And you're just going to, you're going to the football game. You're going to the baseball game. I love sports. I love going down to Cardinal Stadium. I love going down to the baseball stadium to go watch the Diamondbacks. I love that stuff. I don't do it anymore. You know why? Because I have different priorities.
Yeah.
And everybody's got to get in that same mentality. Different priorities. Start thinking about, hey, how do we make the community better? How do we make our state better? How do we do this and that better? And then, yeah, at that point, then we're going to build the golden age. We're going to come out. We're going to be the one who's going to build the roads. It's going to be us. I'll get a shovel. I'll go build the wall. I'll go help build the bridge. I'll do whatever it takes. I don't, I want to contribute however I can to this, but people are not ready for it yet. There's going to have to be a scare event. That's really, that's kind of my case for getting into gold and silver, is that, yeah, people are going to have to experience loss. And unless you're out of that system, you're out of the dollar, you're out of the Federal Reserve System, you're out of the markets, you're out of the banks, right? Unless you're doing that, you're going to experience loss. There's no way around it.
Yeah.
Wake up.
117%. I've got a little video I'll send you about that. A woman was talking. She discusses this point perfectly about how you just can't talk to these people at the moment. And I cannot wait for a scare event, as bad as it's going to be, because we need these people pissed off, because when they're pissed off, we will actually know they're awake and they're going to fucking start getting involved in doing something.
Yeah. Well, that's how it happened with us. I mean, most of us had a trauma, not all, but that kind of jarred us, right, in our lives. But then we were pissed. We were just really pissed. We were pissed about the food. We were pissed about the chemtrails. We were pissed about the elections. We were pissed about, these stupid speed camera. Like, people are just still, they have to get angry. And you're right that they have to, something has to, well, I will tell you, people in New York are going to be in for some serious surprises when the financial industry moves out of the city.
I mean, I was listening to a guy, I don't know who this guy is, but he just seemed really intelligent and he just understood it. But it was something on YouTube. But he's like, you see Macy's over here? They were in Herald Square, on 34th Street, the flagship Macy's, the Macy's, right? Yeah. And he's like, you see that Macy's over there? You know how much they were losing per year because people were stealing? People were just going in and stealing. There was no consequences. Take a guess what their losses were per year.
Oh my God.
Take a guess in theft. Just put a number out there.
30 million?
$3 billion. $3 billion. $3 billion.
And guards?
In Herald Square Macy's, their losses are $3 billion. They're going to be out of business by the end of the year. That Macy's is out of business. It's gone.
Why aren't they addressed? I don't understand.
Well,
because there's no consequence.
Yeah, where is that? Is that where the security guards are not allowed to get involved? So people are just walking in, blatantly walking
Exactly.
in.
It's like California. When you see all the looting in California and they have the law that says anything under $1,000, the police are not going to show up. He talks about a guy in there. He got stabbed and bled to death in that Macy's.
Wow.
It's crazy. Things are so much worse. Things are so much worse than even we know. Right? You don't think about that. We're just talking about Macy's. Yeah. The Macy's. $3 billion in losses every year from theft. Okay? Guy getting stabbed to death and bleeding out in that Macy's on whatever floor. Okay, this is stuff you don't hear. This is just completely unreported. If people got the real reporting, the news, it's even fooling us because we're not even hearing about these stories. Things are so much worse than people realize. Things are so much worse. And it's going to get worse. And we're going to start hearing about this stuff. And believe me, things are going to get worse before they get better. Trust me. It's not going to just be like, oh, Trump comes in and saves the day. Yeah, he'll come and save the day at some point. Right?
Yeah, but only when the people are pissed off and demanding it. That's what if even if the military are coming in and Trump and all this stuff, they're not going to do it. They're not going to save people when they're just going to forget about it and be doing the same thing again in a year's time.
Yeah,
it can't happen like that.
But listen, look at how much they have already saved us.
Oh, yeah. Totally.
People are not even aware. Look at the towers, right? That we understand what they were really meant with the 5G and they changed the frequency. Look at what we believe they did with vaccines and protecting many of us from what was. Look at all the things that they have done, and people have no clue how they could have been dead right now.
Oh, I'll pile it on here. So I was watching, this is probably a year ago, maybe even more. I was watching Nino, Nino's Corner. And he had a guy on there. I forget his name. I wish I had his name, but he's a climate change activist. You know what the real climate change is? It's the fact that the 70% of the soil in the world is completely contaminated.
Right.
And you can't do it. You can't do a damn thing. You can't grow anything. 70% of the soil in the entire world they've destroyed. It is so much worse than what people even fathom. And we're sitting here with some semblance of normalcy, right? Some semblance of society. And even we're being duped because it's far worse. That's why I'm glad I live in Arizona. You know, I don't miss New York. I mean, it was nice to return. It was nice to visit and, you know, see people. And, you know, I ran into my my middle school gym teacher, Mr. Baudo.
Oh.
That was funny. Yeah, he was walking down the boardwalk. I was like, Mr. Baudo. But I wouldn't want to live there. No offense, Elisa, but I wouldn't want to live in New York. I love Arizona.
I'm looking at houses in Florida in 2 weeks. So yeah.
You can move back. You can move next to Dave and Rambo.
Oh yeah, we got a whole world down there.
They're down there. They're down there living the dream.
Yep. Then we're gonna get Stu. Absolutely. And it's a shame because New York is a beautiful place, a beautiful state. There's so many natural things in our state. The city was once just amazing, you know, you can't get me into the city. I know you guys all went that day and there was reasons because people wanted to see and experience. Like you literally have to threaten me to get me to go to, and I was in Manhattan all the time, Broadway, eating. It's just gross.
I mean, I see these guys in the street walking around talking to themselves, and I'm like, you know, here they are putting up illegals at, you know, 5-star hotels. This guy's American. This guy this guy needs help.
He needs help. Yeah.
This guy needs help. Let's help him. And here we are helping these illegals, you know, and it just makes you can't hate the liberals enough. The communists, you can't hate them enough.
Yeah.
You can't hate them enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're the ones that got done, though, haven't they? You know.
However, it's all about the awareness, you know, that we're trying to build. Look, we just look at this for instance, we had an event in October. We literally had about 60 people. We had this event most recently, and we were full. You know, that first day we had like 190 seats filled. So that's what this is all about, right? Just pulling more people in to be part of the solution.
Yeah, it's truly something where people need, as we said, people need to get pissed off. They need to hit that point where they're at wit's end, and only then can we really start to assemble ourselves.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, sorry, I'm just.
That is a scare necessary event. All right, I'm just going to play your little video quickly for a minute while you're doing that, Matt. Okay.
Sure.
Your financial advisor isn't going to tell you this. Your bank won't mention it. And your 401k custodian, they're hoping you never find out. You can convert your retirement account into physical gold and silver. Real metal in your hands or stored exactly where you decide. It's called a gold IRA rollover, and it's 100% legal, 100% IRS approved. And your financial quote experts, they don't get a commission when you take control like this. Wall Street wants your money in their system, in their accounts where they control it. But physical gold, that's yours. Can't be hacked, can't be deleted, can't vanish when the market crashes. Verity Metals, we're the experts. They don't want you to call. Convert your IRA or 401k into gold and silver that you can actually hold. Call 1-888-318-7598 and quote Patriots Across the Pond.
I narrate it much better than that robot voice.
You do.
If there's any way you've got it where you can edit your video with you talking and put our number on that, we have new
videos that we just filmed a couple weeks ago, so those should be ready pretty soon.
Oh, cool.
That's
yeah.
Excellent.
Me and Ethan. You're gonna see my business partner Ethan in it.
Oh, nice.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, that'd be great. I mean, look, you're talking about this doing a new event out there. Donna's talking about doing another one in October, I think.
Manhattan.
The more we can do these things, and I just want to say about that, because we're having a round table tomorrow. If you want to come on with Scott or anything, if you've got any time at all tomorrow, but we're just going to have a little catch up and discuss it. But just being there with the people, and they didn't have to pay a lot of money to be there, did they? You want $80 for a ticket? I thought that was an absolute bargain, and it was great. Because there was no them and us, Matt, was there? You know, I'm Matt Geiger, and who are you? It's not that. It's like, I'm Matt Geiger, who are you? You know, that's what it's
famous.
Yeah, and it was brilliant. I loved it. Superb. So
no, I think people go to these events, and it's a way. It's therapy. You know, they're living in whatever part of the country, and they're surrounded by shithead liberals, people that just think in one specific way. They have no idea what's really going on. And they come to these events and they meet their best friends. And they meet people that, it wouldn't surprise me at that event that a lot of the people that showed up there, they got each other's number and they're talking with each other now. That's how it works. You build, it's community building. Yeah. Isn't that what this whole thing is? We're building a community. We have to effectively rebuild communities.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing. And we're doing it one event at a time.
Exactly. And plus, we're all building our communities ourselves, talking to each other online from all different places around the world, and getting the information out. That's what it's all about.
And I just want to put a plug, because you could still go to theawakeningsummit.org. The live recording of the 2 days, I think it's like 8 hours the first day, 8 hours and 30 minutes the next day, something like that. I think it's $36.
Yeah.
So, and that's going to be available, for the next number of months. But what I wanted to say to you, Matt and Stu, is that I think we need to kind of come together and say, like Donna wants to do something. You guys have an idea. I know that Joe and Dave were talking about maybe doing a cruise in Florida. Like, I think we might need to have like a little powwow to say, how do we help, support, and arrange it so that one isn't negating the other, and it's happening in a way that, we've got a great team. I'm very good at coordination and doing that. Matt, you've got your abilities, Stu, we together, and try to make this more of like a team effort so that we get everything done the way we need to get done.
Everyone promotes everyone, all of it on everyone else's show, you see, as well, and just get the eyes on the stuff. Brilliant.
I want to do something really grandiose. I want to do something big.
I'm looking at that hotel, Matt.
The JW Marriott.
That is crazy.
It's cool.
Like the nightly price, just without any negotiation, is pretty damn.
We negotiated the last one pretty decently, so I think we could do the same here. But whether it be there, I mean, shoot, we could go to Trump Tower in Las Vegas. Juan did it very creatively, which was what he did in his event last year. Was he rented out 2 rooms on the ends of the hotel, each side, and he just left the door open, and he would just be in the room talking to everybody.
Wow!
And you could come in and out. You could go down to the bar, have a cocktail, come back up, go out, have a bite, come back up. He'd be there. You had a number of different guys. You had Jerry. What's his name? Jerry, you know who I'm talking about from whatever. You had him, you had Juan, you had Lewis, you had a bunch of different guys that were around there speaking. You could just do something like that.
Yeah.
There must have been, I don't know, 100 people there, 200 people there.
Yeah, you do. Unfortunately or fortunately, you do need to have kind of some anchor people, that get people to come, and then they realize how everybody else has a very important message and voice, and so having Juan obviously is going to be a very big draw.
You get Juan. You talk to Juan, you coordinate with him. I can help you do that. We coordinate with him, try to get him to show up. Maybe he could bring Patrick Byrne. Right. I don't know Patrick. I've met him, but like I have a lady who's very good friends with him. He would show up. She asked him to show up, and he had I don't know what that guy, the guy's a billionaire. I don't know what his schedule's like, but he'd be a great draw. The Ahern Hotel, there's a lot of events, like Mary Crowley's doing an event this weekend. I'll actually be there. She's doing it at the Ahern Hotel. The Ahern seems to be a pretty common destination for Patriot events.
Yes.
And they have really good space because they have that really big room, and there's food there. They have it's actually a very good the pizza at that pizza place. Let me tell you something. It's the closest thing to New York that you'll find on the West Coast.
Really?
Yeah.
That's encouraging.
Yeah, excellent pizza. And they have other, it's a restaurant too, but it's a pizzeria. But they have that, and you have all the resources there. Plus, you could have people stay at the Ahern Hotel.
Right.
And I'm sure they do group discounts. I'm sure they're used to this because these Patriot events, they're hosting them all the time. My guess is that most of the people that are going to that are staying at the Ahern. I just so happen to be very loyal to Trump, so I stay in Trump Tower.
Yeah.
But and I feel I like Trump Tower because there's no gambling, there's no smoking. It's like as I was telling somebody yesterday, it was like in a city of demons, I feel protected and safe in Trump Tower. There's just something about it there that it's like there's a good, Vegas has the worst vibe, and then you go into Trump Tower and you feel like the bad spirits are gone. So I always stay there.
When I go to Vegas, I stay in the hotels that don't have the gambling, so you feel like you're away from it. But if you want to go, you can go, and then you come back with like a safe, quiet. Yeah. But I'm going to put this out there. Maybe it's me, you, Stu, Donna, Scott, maybe Joe. Maybe like a core group of 7 or 8 of us, get on a Zoom or a StreamYard and just talk about what's going on and how we get it all going. And we've got, tremendous audiences with everybody that's involved. And we start slowly closing that circle so that, we just keep piling more people into one circle that then has different events that we're doing.
Gunnels did a fabulous job down in Dallas. He got a couple hundred people to show up there. Wow. That was a phenomenal event.
Yeah.
Phenomenal event that he put on. And that was like a month prior to the one we just did.
Yeah.
So, you can get a draw. I feel like locality matters. I don't know if Long Island would be necessarily the place to do it, but maybe.
I don't think so.
I don't know. Texas would be great. The same hotel Gunnels did it at. They had a great facility, and there was a huge room. Place is packed. Good hotel rates.
Yeah,
and it was good hotel. I actually rented a hotel. I had an Airbnb out there, but I rented a hotel room one night because I didn't want to drive. I had a couple drinks in me. I didn't want to drive, so I just took out a hotel room, and the hotel room was very nice. Very nice. So that's an option. Yeah. Gunnels would be a good guy to talk to. He's real. He does a very good job with events. So getting him involved. But I want to do something big. I want to get like Lewis, Jaco, Scott McKay, all these different guys. Get Lloyd Brunson. Lloyd's a friend of mine. Lloyd stayed with me last year at my house here. Last year stayed with me a couple days. I want to get Lloyd and his brothers to perform. I want them to come up with their trumpets and do just a quick performance for everybody. That'd be great.
That would be.
And he's picked up the trumpet again, and I know that because he told me.
Yeah. And
so
maybe do a little chat about the court case as well while he's there. Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. And we meet the brothers. Get the other 3 because I'd love to meet the other 3 brothers. I haven't met them, but have them come in and talk to us about the Brunson case. Because if you can get Lloyd there, I'm sure Juan would want to come hang out.
Yeah.
Sure.
So we'll talk about it. It's fun stuff. But I'm running short on time. I'm getting phone calls left and right now.
This was great.
Busy, man.
Yeah. No, thank you so much. And again, we can't thank you enough for the support and the sponsorship for this event, because we couldn't have done it without you. And I'm going to just put it out there. My vote is for Arizona, because once you're there, there's so much to see, so much to do. There's Sedona. There's the vortexes.
Absolutely.
I just feel like that would be an amazing.
We could do it up in Sedona. There's very reasonable rates on hotels up there.
So gorgeous. And
very reasonable. There's great if people want to get an Airbnb together, very reasonably priced up there. Brad Olson is going up there for an event, I think this week or next week or something. He's going up there for some event. So we'll discuss it, and we'll let everybody know. We'll get everybody aware of it on the show, and we should announce it like give ourselves like a couple months ahead of time so people can really get their schedules straight and really make time for it. And that way, getting people together, I mean, it's just the best, and we'll do whatever we can. My company will do whatever we can to, sponsor or whatever it is, make sure that the speakers, they all have hotel rooms, whatever the case may be. We can always do that. That's easy to do. That's me giving you my.
We have time to get some other sponsors. There's other people.
Absolutely.
That's what it's all about. And
absolutely,
we get other companies too that are patriotic companies, and so have them support us so that we can give them a platform as well.
No doubt.
I was talking to Joe in the bar about it. He was well. He's going, Stu, we'll have to do one in England as well. Get Mark Atwood involved and all that. So maybe sometime down the line we'll do something over here as well. Right, now you go, Matt. I've actually put that little 5.5-minute video on the end of this I was talking about. So if you got to go, just come back, watch the show a bit later at the outro. All right, and
I'll check it out. Thank you, guys. Good to see you all.
Lots of love.
Take care.
Thank you. Love you.
What a legend that guy is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm getting really we do have to sit down. Like I see Truth Stream. I don't know if it's Joe or Scott or both you guys.
Well, I would say from the first comment who is this guy? I didn't say that. I put that up earlier. That might be Joe actually.
No,
but as soon as we saw Scott at the start, right, I thought Scott might have got in and gone straight to the keyboard and had a bit of a laugh. But there we go.
We got to pull us all together because I do think, and I'm gonna give kudos to Donna because she's been talking about this idea of making this like more national and getting out there, but it's very hard to do this when you're just kind of like one small group, right? But if we have the community and we're all pulling together, and then all of our followers, whether it's our followers or Truth Streams or whatever, they know that this is like a bigger thing, and the more people, the better rates, right? It becomes more economical for everyone, the more sponsors. So yes, Joe, we know it's usually you, but I was just checking. So I think it's pretty exciting.
Yeah, definitely. It's usually me. Yes, it is. Now, if you want to see a little bit of Joe and potentially Scott tomorrow, we're doing our Thursday Thunder show. We're just going to have a round table, little catch up. So along with Elisa and I, we can get another 8 screens on here on the package we're on. I mean, if I was earning money out of it, I might be able to go for the pro and get more on, but we've never needed. And our Saturday family chat, we've had 7 people so far, so we haven't needed to worry about that. But yeah, I think the invites have gone out. I think we got 7, 8 people at the moment, and maybe more will be joining. And if anyone turns up and they're sitting out the back, I shall dip myself out and let someone come in for a bit if there's 11 people or whatever. And but people don't have to stay for the whole thing anyway. They can come and say have a little bit.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? It's great. It's just a catch up after the Awakening Summit, really. I think it's going to be great. I look forward to seeing some faces.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's that. That's our quick fire show of the week, isn't it? Matt Geiger. Matt does a few longer shows, but they're normally when he's chilling out in the evening. He's done his day, he's having a beer. But obviously, when he comes on with us, it's 9 o'clock in the morning over there.
Yeah, his day is just starting.
His phone is like on fire, isn't it? So that's great. But yeah, I've just put a little video on the end for an outro. Perfect. I've played this a few times lately, and this woman was just frustrated with everyone, really, about when are people going to wake up.
Yeah. Just one more little thing about Matt. So I just made a purchase. I can't tell you how easy it was. He's so easy to work with. His staff is unbelievable. Like they keep you apprised of when everything's shipping, when you're going to get it. It was just very easy transaction. So I've dealt with other, like before I knew Matt, and I don't know, it was like local people, nice people, but considering that he's in Arizona and his staff is out there, it was easier than dealing with some of the local people here. So he's really a pro. Yeah.
Sorry, Joe's just said, who is on board for tomorrow so far? I'm making a thumbnail. Now, I didn't know who was on board. There is a sort of like a rough
I have
list
the list.
in the WhatsApp chat, which Joe's in. We're all in that. But I just put that picture from Vincent's on my thumbnail. So, you know, there's
Well,
loads
I
of
know.
people there.
So it's Joe, it's you, it's me, it's Donna, it's Chris O'Connor,
Lisa Sherman.
Lisa Schermerhorn, Laura Worley. Give me a minute. Matt. Just give me 1 minute to think. I know Brad couldn't make it because he's traveling. I think there's 9 of us.
Derek's been sent a message.
He has, and so have Dave and Rambo, but I haven't heard back from them yet, so I don't know if their schedules permit.
That's why I put a photo with everyone.
Yeah, no, but I mean, we do have like 9 confirmed so far,
Yes.
so it should be
Great.
really great.
Great. Right. Okay, people, thank you very much for joining us. We love you all. Where we go, when we go all, and have a little listen to this lady, and just let us know if you feel the same, because many people out there are just, you cannot have a normie conversation anymore, can you?
I know.
That's all.
Keep vibing high, everyone. Stay in a love vibration.
Always love, not fear. Where we go, when we go all. See you tomorrow.
Listen, I'm actually at a point where it physically pains me to engage in small talk. I do not know how to talk to you. I actually do not know how to talk to you, and it physically pains me. If all you want to talk to me about is what celebrities are up to, or what newest movie is coming out, or what newest restaurant is opening up, I do not know how to talk to you. If you're just going to stick your head in the sand and ignore the fact that the world is literally on fire, you are going to just blatantly ignore the fact that we have a 6,000-year-old satanic cult that has been running this world. We have actual demonic entities, on our TV running our government, and satanic rituals that are being done in government buildings. I just don't know how to talk to anybody that is going to ignore all of that. We actually live in different worlds at this point. And that's the wildest thing for me, is there are so many people out in this world that are living their life like absolutely nothing is wrong. Just heads completely submerged in the sand, just continuing to go to fast food 4 to 5 times a week like there's not actual human beings in the meat, continuing to go see new movies and pay attention to what their favorite celebrities are up to like these aren't demonic hybrids and clones. They're just acting like they're normal human beings with normal lives. And then we have people just arguing over left versus right, acting like that's still a thing. I don't know how to relate to those people anymore. I'm actually at that point where it pains me if you want to talk about the world like there's nothing wrong. And it's funny because the more the veil is lifted off your eyes with how the world really is, the more the veil is lifted off your eyes with how people really are. And the more you see that, the less you want to be around people. Like, I have no desire to be around people. I have a handful of people that I like, and that's about it. People in general, I love y'all, but people in general suck. People just have lost the ability to be real human beings. They have lost the ability to be nice. They have lost the ability to be kind. They have lost the ability to be genuine human beings. Everybody is fake nowadays, and I don't have the energy or the time to be around fake. I do not know how to. I will call you out. I can't anymore. And I mean, what does the Bible say, right? With much wisdom comes much sorrow. When you see this world for what it really is, when you recognize that the entire political stage is just that, it's a stage, it's the illusion of choice, it's all fake, it's all scripted, none of that literally means what we think it means. It is all charades. We have actual demonic entities, 6,000-year-old demonic entities that run our government, that sit in high places, that call the shots. The people that we see, that we think are in charge, are not. They are puppets. And everybody is just going along with it. The average person in this world just goes along with it. And I'm at a point where I don't know how to interact with that person anymore, with this world. I am so set apart. I am so detached from this world, and I'm so blessed to be in that category. I am so grateful that I am set apart, that I see this world with spiritual eyes, that I know what is going on, that I know what is coming. But I don't understand how so many people just live their life like nothing is wrong. They don't even sense that something is wrong. They don't even feel it. It actually blows my mind at this point. And this is why, y'all, I'm so grateful for this platform, that God has trusted me to talk on his platform, because it's not mine, it's his, in these last moments, because going out in the world, it is so isolating. You feel so alone when you have spiritual eyes, when you see this world for what it really is. You feel like you're the only one. But when we come on this platform, we can talk, we can pray for one another, and it is such an incredible blessing in these last moments. I know for a lot of us, life just feels like Groundhog's Day. Life is so monotonous. Not only that, time is going by so quickly at this point. Like, I actually have some moments where I can't figure out where the time went. Like, I feel like I blink sometimes and 3 hours have gone by. But life just feels so monotonous. It's just, I can't keep up with it. And it's exhausting when you have to still partake in the daily routine, the daily stuff of a world that you are no longer a part of, that you are completely detached from. It is exhausting mentally, physically, emotionally, all of it. But I just want to encourage y'all to not grow weary in well-doing. God has chosen us to be the generation. We are the generation, and we were born for a time such as this. So do not grow weary in well-doing. The Lord's timing is absolutely perfect, and he is giving those out there that need a little more time. He is working on their hearts. He is preparing their hearts, for his Holy Spirit to move. And that is what we have to remind ourselves of. It is God being merciful and gracious and patient with those out there that are just about to surrender and repent.